Hello everyone, my name is Sage and on this video I'll be attempting to beat Hardcore Nuzlocke challenge in Pokemon Emerald. If you are unfamiliar about what Hardcore Nuzlocke is, here's a quick info about the rules. Number 1. I can only catch first Pokemon from each new route area and I have to nickname all Pokemon I catch. Number 2. If Pokemon fades, it is considered dead and must be released or boxed for good. I usually box fainted Pokemon to box I name Grave. Number 3. No using healing items in battle, only health items and items outside of battle are allowed. And number 4, play the game on set mode. So, this is actually already my third attempt with this challenge. First two I did not record as they were meant to be test runs anyway and I wasn't originally planning on making video about this challenge anyway. But as a quick recap, in the first attempt I wiped to Norman and on the second attempt I accidentally overleveled my team after Flannery. A real noob mistake. I'm not very experienced with Hardcore Nuzlocke yet. Besides this, I have only made 2 100% legal runs in Pokemon Blue and in Pokemon Infinite Fusion, and one not so legal run in Pokemon Crystal. I have those runs here on my channel if you want to check them out. But that's enough rambling, let's get started with this challenge. For the starter for this run I chose Mudkip, mainly because it's my favorite out of the trio, but also because I think it's generally strongest option for this game. Together with Tremor we quickly beat Maze Trico in first rival fight. After getting Pokeballs, my first encounter is Wurmple, which I catch and name Wasp. From Route 102 I catch Zigzagoon, which I name Carmelita. After meeting my old man, who forces me to play with that shy kid from Playground, I head to Route 104 to battle some trainers. Wasp evolves to Cascoon here and I also catch Poochyena here, naming it Robin. I head then to Petalburg Woods, from where I get to catch Tailo, which I named traditionally to Sackchip. I head on then to face the team Aquagrant that's bullying this Demoncorp dude. His Poochyena is higher level than I remembered, but Wasp gets it poisoned, so I spam some hardens and wait for poison to do its work. Unfortunately in time, Poochyena gets critical hit and Wasp goes down. Well, first death did not take long in this run. Tremor comes in to finish the job though, and I get to move on. So, funny thing I noticed now when writing the script, I did not realize at the time of playing that route after Petalburg Woods is same routes as before it, so it's all Route 104. So, thinking that this is a different route, I got a Meryl from here naming it Blueberry. I'm going to let this slide though, as I forgot to get encounter from the Route 103 anyway, but just wanted to mention this here in name of honesty and transparency. I reach Rustboro City without any more casualties. From Route 116 I catch Nincada naming it Skite. I beat all the trainers here for some experience and head then to take on first gym. Well, this gym is easy with Tremor naturally. Well, almost easy. First Geodude goes down with one water gun, same happened to second one. Against Nosepass I first use Mud Slap to lower its accuracy while it goes for Harden. Same exact thing happens for second turn. On third turn Nosepass somehow hits Rock Tomb after 3 accuracy drops and gets Tremor's speed lowered. Then it goes for block and I use 4th Mud Slap activating its Oranberry. Tackle hits for critical hit and Tremor leaves it with 5 HP. Mother can deal some good damage and held Oranberry recovers a little bit of HP for Tremor. Next turn I know Roxanne goes for potion, so I go for Water Gun again. Then I take a risk and thankfully Nosepass misses Rock Tomb, so then Roxanne goes for potion again. And then another Rock Tomb misses. And another one misses as well, finally leading Tremor to take Nosepass out. Almost easy as said. After saving Wingull in distress in Rustfur Cave and being tasked as mailman, I take a boat trip to Dewford Town. I beat some trainers on Route 106 and head then to second gym to beat trainers there for more XP. From Granite Cave I get to catch Makuhita, which is a pretty good encounter. I name it Missy and after some grinding I go take on Broly. Sackchip plays important here as my flying type. I start by using Focus Energy to boost my crit chance while Mudchop goes for Bulk Up. Wing Attack deals good chunk of damage while Low Kick does not hurt Sackchip too much. Second Wing Attack takes Mudchop out and in comes Meditite. Its only attacking move is Focus Punch, so it's easy to take out with 2 attacks. Well, that is after Broly stops spamming Super Potions. Against Makuhita I get critical hit in, which one-shots it. Easy business and that's the second gym badge acquired. On my way to do my job as mailman, Tremor evolves to Marstomp and learns Mudshot. After handing some mail to Steven Stone, I go do some fishing. From Dewford Town's side I fish Magikarp, which I catch and name Ariel, and from Route 107 I catch Tentacool and name it Poseidon. I then return to Rustboro to get EXP share from Steven's dad, makes grinding a bit easier, and then I head to Slateport. I handle all the story related stuff quite quickly and move forward to next route. From Route 110 I catch Galpin, which goes to box at least for now. After grinding my team a bit against trainers around the area, it's time for the next rival battle. She starts with Wingull and I send in Blueberry. I go for Defense Girl to make my rollout stronger. Wing attack hurts a bit, and of course I miss first rollout. Then Wing Hull confuses Blueberry with Supersonic, and of course it hits itself. And then it hits itself again! For some reason I go for another Defense Girl, and now I have to switch out. I send in Tremor, who does much less damage with Tackle as I was hoping. After a couple of turns I have to switch out again, and I send in Robin, and it unfortunately has to go down here for me to get safe switch to Sackchip, who can finish the Wingull off with Quick Attack. Next, in comes Slugma, and I switch to Missy, who tanks Rock Throw easily. 2 Vital Throws takes out Slugma, who used only Ember and Yawn. Crowell is out last, and I switch Sackchip back in. Absorb does not hurt much. I go straight for Wing Attack, as Pursuit deals quite heavy hit. Thankfully 1 Wing Attack is enough to take out Crowell, and I get the win. Losing Robin was unfortunate, but the bad RNG at the beginning did not give me much of a choice there. After I arrived to Morville, I beat Wally real quick in front of the gym. Poor guy had no chance with only his routes. I then head to Route 117 to battle some trainers for experience, and as an encounter from here I get Odyss. I name it to Flower Power and add it to my team as I was still missing Grass type. While battling the trainers, Blueberry evolves to Azumarill. After fighting all the possible trainers, I can at this point it's time to take on Watson. I start the battle straight with Tremor, who takes technically no damage from rollout and one-shots lead Voltorb with 1 mud-shot. Electric comes in next, which Tremor outspeeds and one-shots as well. Magneton hits the Supersonic of course, but Tremor hits through the confusion to one-shot the Magneton as well. Lastly in comes Manectric, who leaves 1 mud-shot. I get speed drop against it and then it heals with Health Berry. It then got critical Quick Attack in, which hurt a lot. Tremor thankfully snaps out of confusion and gets revenge by critting with Mudshot to take out the Manectric. Overall pretty easy fight with Mudstop. Next ahead is pretty long trek northwards. From the fiery path I catch Mudstop as my encounter, and I name it Rocky. Then things go a bit badly as in this pretty random trainer fight Carmelita goes down to critical Mega Drain from Roselia. That sucks, rest in peace Carmelita. I add Rocky to my team as a new member and move forward. On this trek, Sackchip evolves to Swallow, and from Route 113 I catch Spinda, which will go to box. On Route 114, Flower Power evolves to Gloom. From here I also catch Lompra as my encounter, which I nickname Danza. After scaring Team Aqua to flee from Meteor Falls and catching the Zubat as my encounter here, it's time to go fight Team Magma on Mount Chimney. On the way there, Missy evolves to Hariyama. Grunts and Admin Tapit are quite easy to handle, so let's get straight to Maxi. He starts with Mightyena and I start with Blueberry. I immediately switch to Missy. Mightyena uses Sand Attack and then goes for Weak Bite. Vital Throw almost takes it out with 1 hit. Maxi then withdraws Mightyena and sends in Zubat. Naturally my Arm Thrust does not do much damage against it. I switch to Blueberry, who gets confused by Supersonic, so I switch to Sackchip, who tanks Wing Attack well. 1 Wing Attack takes out Zubat and Mightyena comes back in. Maxi uses Super Potion, so Quick Attack won't finish Mightyena off. I switch to Missy, who tanks Critical Bite. Arm Thrust takes out Mightyena on next turn. Lastly, out comes Camerot and I switch out to Blueberry. 2 Bubble Beams takes out Camerot, winning me the battle. Team Magma escapes and I head forward to Laveridge Town. Next, it's time for next gym. Gym trainers are pretty easy to deal with 2 water types on my team. Against the Flannery, I start with Tremor as she sends out Numel. I guess I got low roll with Water Gun here as Numel barely survives it. It uses Sunny Day, which is going to weaken my water moves. Then Flannery heals Numel, but Mudshot takes out Numel with 1 hit. Slugma also goes down with 1 hit. Then in comes Camerot, which survives 1 Mudshot and goes for a trap. But Tremor does not care about love and takes Camerot out with 1 more Mudshot. Then in comes Torkoal, which stacks Mudshot much better than I thought it would, and it goes for a tract as well. Water Gun deals about the same damage as Mudshot and Torkoal's Body Slam hits hard. It also paralyzes Tremor, which is really bad news. I get 1 more Mudshot it, but Torkoal barely leaves it. In hindsight, I maybe should have used Water Gun as Tremor probably was in torrent range here. For now I switch to Blueberry as Flannery heals Torkoal. I go for Bubble Beam as Torkoal goes for a tract again. I switch then to Missy to tank Body Slam and I use Fake Out to flinch Torkoal next turn. Arm Thrust hits only 2 times next turn and Torkoal paralyzes Missy with Body Slam. I switch back to Blueberry, but Torkoal goes for Sunny Day. I use Bubble Beam for chip damage while Torkoal uses Attract again. I switch to Sackchip, which gets immediately paralyzed by Body Slam. Then Torkoal goes for the overheat, taking out Sackchip. This was honestly bound to happen anytime soon and someone had to take that hit. Rest in peace, Sackchip. Torkoal's White Herb restored the special attack drop from overheat. I send out Blueberry and Torkoal barely leaves the Bubble Beam. Body Slam thankfully does not paralyze and 1 more Bubble Beam finally takes out Torkoal. Alright, we're finally halfway there with the gyms. I head next to the desert where I catch Sandshrew. I name it Sandakin. From the Mirage Tower I'm able to catch Trapinch as my encounter. I name it Salamander. Also, Sackchip is replaced by Brack for now. Yes, it was supposed to be Bruce, but I misspelled the name, so Brock it is now. After a tremendous amount of grinding, it is time to go take on 5th gym, our old man Norman. Brock has evolved to Golbat and Rocky to Machoke, and I get a little more experience to my team from the trainer fights. I'm not all the way to level cap when going into battle, which is always risks, but hey, I like risks. So, Norman starts with Spinda and I send in Rocky. Spinda uses Teeter Dance to confuse Rocky and it hits itself of course. Next turn though, Rocky hits Revenge to one-shot Spinda. And next in comes Vigoroth. Rocky tanks Slash and snaps out of confusion, so one Revenge also one-shots Vigoroth. Things goes exactly the same with Lainu, but now Rocky is really low on HP and real troubles begins when Slacking comes in. Honestly, I already know that this thing won't be beaten without sacrifice, so I let Rocky go down here. I send in Missy and go for Vital Throw as Slacking is loafing around. It does much less damage than I was hoping. I go for Arm Thrust, which only hits 2 times of course, but Slacking's counter does not hurt much either. It gets some HP back with Health Berry and next turn I go for Focus Energy. Facade does a lot of damage and unfortunately Vital Throw does not get a crit. So next turn Norman heals Slacking while Arm Thrust hits again only 2 times and no crits either. As Missy is low on HP, I decide to switch to Blueberry. I hit for weak Bubble Beam and honestly Blueberry must be another sacrifice for safe switch. So as it goes down I send in Flower Power. I hit Sleep Powder to put Slacking to sleep and then I send in Missy. Slacking of course wakes up on second turn, but that is its loafing turn, so I get a hit in. But then it outspeeds, which I guess means we have a speed tie since Missy outsped before, and that takes out Missy. That is a big hit to my team. I send in Tremor and go for Mudshot, but that just gets Slacking to healing range. Mudshots are lowering Slacking speed but not dealing a lot of damage. Counter from Slacking does a good chunk of damage to Tremor, and I decide to try to put Slacking asleep again. Sleep Powder hits from Flower Power, and then I send in Brock. Slacking of course wakes up again immediately on second turn, but is again loafing around. I decide to confuse Slacking with Confuse Ray and then it just fails counter. Wing Attack does not hurt Slacking much and counter again does quite a lot to Brock. So a couple turns later Buck goes down to Facade. Thankfully Tremor is able to come in and finish Slacking off with Water Gun. So that was a bloodshed, but I barely made it through. Thankfully I have Pokemon Box, so I'm not stuck with only 2 team members now. For now I only add Salamander to my team though and move on. After beating Norman, road takes me back to Mauville and I can use Surf to move to new route. From this route 118 I encounter Manectric, which I think is pretty good encounter, especially when we have a flying gym coming up ahead pretty soon. I name Manectric Cross and it joins party right away. From route 119 I encounter Linoon, which I catch and name Tennessee. It goes to box and I move on to Weather Institute. Here I pretty easily handle Team Aqua Grants. And Aqua Admin Selly is not much of a challenge either, so let's just move on. The cast form I get from Institute I just box as I am not planning using it for now. Next up is another rival battle, but this one is not nearly as bad as previous one. Slugma goes down with 2 sparks from Cross. Lompre uses annoying fake out flinch, but it goes down with 3 sparks. Against Grovyle I switch to Brock and take out with single wing attack. Wait, what is Brock doing here? He died to that Slacking against the Norman. Well, turns out I only noticed this now when I'm doing this voiceover, that apparently for some reason I did not realize that Brock fainted there and he's still here with us on the team. So a miracle happened? He died and got reborn or something like that. So sorry? I guess challenge is kinda ruined because of this. But if you still want to see how the rest of the challenge went, be sure to stay in to check out the rest of the video. But yeah, that happened, so sorry. And that's the battle, so let's move straight to Fort 3 City. First I head to Route 120, where my encounter is Mightyena. Not the greatest encounter, so it goes to box. After that I handle the business with the Kecleons to access the gym. I add Noah the Mightyena and F the cast form to team here and beat trainers in orderly fashion. Then after some grinding it is time to take on Winona. Winona starts with Swablu and I send in Cross first. One Shockwave almost takes out Swablu, who just mirror moves it back at Cross for barely any damage. Low HP makes Winona use Hyper Potion here. Then Spark finishes off Swablu and in comes Altaria, which I did not expect to coming next. Here I switch to Brock and Altaria goes for Dragon Dance, which is a bit scary. Then Altaria goes for another Dragon Dance as I confuse it with Confuse Ray. Next turn Altaria hurts itself, but Bite does no damage to it. Then Altaria hits hard with Aerial Ace while Wing Attack knock it down under half HP, which trigger its berry. Then Altaria hits itself and Wing Attack gets it down to red HP. I was expecting to Winona heal here with Hyper Potion, but she did not and unfortunately Altaria hits through the confusion to finish Brock. Now this time Brock stays dead. I promise he won't be coming back anymore. So I send in Tremor and Altaria snaps out of confusion to hit hard area lace. Luckily Rock Tomb hits to finish Altaria off. Next in comes Tropius, which is a really bad matchup for Tremor. So I switch to Flower Power, who tanks Solar Beam and puts Tropius to sleep. Then I switch in F to use first Hail and then Powder Snow. It does small damage while Tropius keeps sleeping. Next Powder Snow almost takes out Tropius and then it wakes up to use Sunny Day. F tanks Area Lace quite okay next turn and finishes Tropius off with one more Powder Snow. Next in comes Pelipper, and while it goes for Protect, I use Hail again. Then Pelipper misses Supersonic and I do small damage with Powder Snow. Plan here is just to sack F as it has done its part already, and after a couple of turns Pelipper takes it out. Then I send in Cross to finish off Pelipper with Shockwave. Last one out is Skarmory, and Cross, badass that it is, decides to take it out with one shot by getting critical with Spark. Thank God for that, now we have 6 gym badges and 2 more to go. Next I make my way to Lilycove town first thing first. On the way I catch Kecleon from Route 121 as my encounter. I name it Camo and it goes to box. Then I head to Route 123 and I catch Zappet and name it Casper. Then I go climb up the Mount Ember to deal with Team Aqua and some story stuff. On the way there though, this one random Wobbuffet kills Cross with freaking Mirror Coat. Well, that was a good fun fight, I lost my MVP Electric type. Moving on from this loss I head on top of Mount Pyre to deal with Team Aqua quickly, and then I head back to Route 122, where I had forgotten to get encounter. It turns out to be Wingull, which I nicknamed Stie. With Y, because I can't write. I also now add Casper to my team to replace Cross. Though let's be honest, no one could replace Cross, but I have to make do with what I got. Next stop is at the Jagged Pass, where we locate Team Magma's hideout. Maxi fight here turned out to be really tough for me. It starts with Mightyena, which uses Swagger to my Flower Power. It gets Sleep Powder through the confusion to put Mightyena asleep. I then send him— Wait, no! You're supposed to be dead! You can't keep coming back, Brock! God damn it, I've been such a huge idiot when I've been— Why is it him that keeps coming back? Anyone else who stays dead, Brock's— No! Bad boy! You definitely need to go down, okay? I can't let you do this no more. Mightyena hits itself as Brock gets Wing Attack through to finish it off. Then in comes Camerupt, which goes for Amnesia as Brock hits it hard with Wing Attack. Maxi heals with Super Potion, but thankfully next Wing Attack hits as well through confusion. Then Maxi heals again, but Brock snaps out of confusion to hit again with Wing Attack. Rock Slide hits hard, but one more attack finishes off Camerupt. Last one left is Crobat, and unfortunately Brock has to go down here. Well, we'll see if he'll actually go down here. For me to get Save Switch into Tremor. Wing Attack hits us hard while Rock Tomb does much less damage than I thought it would. It gets Speed Drop though, and next Wing Attack leaves Tremor with only 6 HP. And then it hits Crobat with critical Rock Tomb to almost finish it off. Thankfully with second Speed Drop, Tremor can now outspeed and use Water Gun to take out Crobat, winning us the battle. After quickly beating May one last time in Lilycove, it is time to head to Slateport to see Team Aqua steal a submarine. Then I head to their hideout, kick some crunch spot, deal with Aqua admin Matt, who unfortunately was able to stop my plan to stop the submarine. Next step is to reach Moss Deep City and take on next gym. Before the gym I head out to explore the water routes to fight trainers for some experience. While grinding, Tremor evolves to Swampert and Casper evolves to Shuppet. After a while Salamander also evolves to Vibrava. After grinding my team close to level cap and beating the gym trainers, it is time to take on Tate and Liza. For this double battle they start with Satu and Claydol, and I send in Tremor and Casper. Satu goes for Calm Mind and Tremor hits Surf for small damage. Casper's Shadow Ball takes out Claydol before it's able to do anything. Lunaton comes in and next turn Satu goes for Sunny Day. Because of that, Surf does barely anything. Shadow Ball from Casper finishes off Satu and in comes Solrock. Lunaton goes for Calm Mind and I go for Surf and Shadow Ball again. Solrock goes down quickly as Lunaton just used another Calm Mind. This lets me take it out next turn, winning me the fight. Alright, only one more gym to go before Pokemon League. Of course I just have to get through all of story stuff as well though. Next up is the double battle with Steven against Team Magma. On the way there, Steve evolves to Pelipper after some battle against Grunt. For this battle, enemy starts with Camerupt and Mightyena, and I send Tremor as Steven sends in Metang. I go for Surf to one-shot Camerupt while Mightyena misses Swagger. Metang kinda luckily goes for Psychic to Golbat that just came in for some great damage. I go for another Surf which finishes off Golbat and in comes another Mightyena. Other one misses Swagger again while Metang deals a bit damage with Metal Claw. Next Surf does not quite take out either of Mightyena and next Swagger finally hits Tremor. Metang takes out other Mightyena with Metal Claw and in comes Camerupt. Other Mightyena lowers Tremor's speed with Scary Face. I switch to Salamander to get rid of confusion while Metang takes out Mightyena with Metal Claw. Camerupt goes for Amnesia, so my Dragon Breath next turn does not deal a lot of damage. Metang goes just for Reflect and Camerupt goes for another Amnesia. I go for another Dragon Breath as I am hoping to get Paralysis, which I do not get this time. Metaclaw from Metang does little damage and Rock Slide deals a little bit back to Metang. I then go for Strength and Metang goes for Metaclaw. Next Rock Slide hits Salamander, but again it does not hurt too much. Next turn Metang wastes time with Light Screen, so I have to take Camerupt out turn after that, and lastly in comes Crobat. Metang goes for Metaclaw and gets an attack boost from that. I switch to Tremor just to be safe. Wing attack does little damage as Metang goes for Reflect. Then I miss Rock Tomb and Psy from Metang does not quite take out Crobat. But next turn I get the kill with Surf and that finally wins us the battle. Maxi runs off and next I head to get Die from Steven's house so I can go after him. Well, actually at the Seaflown Cavern it's Archie I have to beat. He starts with Mightyena and I send in Flower Power. Mightyena naturally starts with Swagger, so Flower Power hits itself because of confusion. So I switch to Tremor to tank Takedown. I go for Surf for some damage and Mightyena lowers my speed with Scary Face. Then Archie heals with Super Potion, but Tremor gets crit with Surf to one-shot Mightyena. Next in comes Crobat, which confuses Tremor with Confuse Ray. Tremor still hits Surf and then I switch to Salamander. Wing attack hurts way too much though, so I switch back to Tremor. After taking some damage, Rock Tomb hits for good damage and then Archie heals with Super Potion. 2 more Surfs thankfully takes Crobat out though, and lastly in comes Sharpedo. I switch to Flower Power. I risk a crit from Slash here, but it does not happen luckily, and I heal all of HP with help of Giga Drain. Next turn Flower Power finishes Sharpedo off with Bullet Seed, winning me the battle. Next a whole lot of story happens, so let's skip through it quickly. From the Sky Pillar I get a new encounter, a Sableye, which I named Joker. Spoiler though, it won't be used in this playthrough. Then I scare off the Rayquaza from the tower and deal with the rest of the story stuff, so I can access the next gym. While grinding my team to face Juan, I evolve Flower Power to Vileplume, and with our team now closer to level cap, it's time to take on Juan. He starts with Love Disc as I send in Flower Power. Love Disc goes for weak Water Pulse and Flower Power one-shots it with Giga Drain. Next in comes Celia and I'm put it to sleep with Sleep Powder. I hit weak Acid first to ensure that Giga Drain can one-shot next turn, which is exactly what happens. Then in comes Kingdra, which loves to spam double team. I decide to stay in to get some damage in with Giga Drain. Unfortunately, Kingdra gets critical hit with Ice Beam, taking out Flower Power. Next I send in Casper to hit Kingdra with Screech. Then after using Feint Attack, I remember that it's special in this gen, not physical. Yeah, that was dumb. I opt to try to connect with Shadow Ball, but it misses. Next one misses as well as Casper gets hit hard by Ice Beam. But then third one hits, taking out Kingdra. That was honestly so lucky. Casper came in clutch right there. Moving on, in comes Groudon and I switch to Salamander. It immediately gets confused by Water Pulse naturally, but gets Strength through next turn for some damage. I risk Salamander hitting itself, but luckily it snaps out of the confusion and hits Dragon Breath. Then Groudon misses its attack, but Juan heals with Hyper Potion. Then Groudon just wastes turn with Taunt though, but Juan heals again. Next Crab Hammer hits, but it's not enough to take Salamander out, so finally Groudon goes down. Last one up is Whiscash, and it sucks I don't have a Flower Power alive for this, so I switch out to Tremor. Mudshot deals okay damage as Whiscash just goes for Amnesia. 2 more takes it out, while Tremor tanks Earthquake, winning me the battle. That's all gym beaten, so next up is to get to Pokemon League. I just need to get through the Victory Road first. Here I also get my last encounter with Loudred. I catch it and nickname it Hangry. It will actually end up joining me to Pokemon League after I get to that point. There's also this rival fight against Wally in Victory Road, which gives me some troubles. Altaria goes down to Rock Tomb spam after some misses and after taking some damage from Aerial Ace. Salamander takes out Roselia with 1 critical hit straight. Against Delcatty though, Salamander gets infatuated and put to sleep. Thankfully Salamander wakes up quickly to hit Dragon Breath. After a couple of turns of being immobilized by love, one last Dragon Breath takes out Delcatty. Against Magneton I switch to Tremor, who one-shots it with Mudshot. Last thing left is Gardevoir and I switch to Casper, who one-shots it with Shadow Ball. Thankfully Gardevoir did not actually attack Casper before that. Anyway, I then make my way to the Victory Road and reach Pokemon League safely. Alright, so for next I have some preparing to do. First thing is to go get some stuff around the map, mostly to get TM for Ice Beam from Abandoned Ship, TM for Thunderbolt from Watson for helping in New Mobile, and some TMs from the Lillikov department store. For the team itself, I added Dance at the Lombre, which I evolved to Ludicolo with Waterstone. Other members are going to be Stian the Pelipper, Salamander the Flygon, Tremor the Swampert, Casper the Sapet, and Hangry the Exploud, evolved from Loudred. Here you can see their movesets before going into the Pokemon League. This is definitely not optimal, because I don't wanna try hard too much, but to just try out some wacky stuff with like rest and sleep talk of Hangry for example. But without further ado, let's go see how this goes. First one from Elite 4 is Sydney, who starts with Mightyena. I start with Danza, which one-shots Mightyena with Surf. Would start as Absol comes in to leave Surf barely. It sets up a Swords Dance, but next Surf takes it out. Shiftry goes down with one Ice Beam, same for Cacturn. Last one is Crawdad, and even though Surf is not very effective, it is still 2-hit KO. So yeah, Danza is kinda crazy good sweeper against Sydney. Moving on, next member of Elite 4 is Phoebe. She starts with Dusclops, which always goes for Protect first turn, so I send in Danza again, and first thing first I use Rain Dance. This doubles Danza's speed thanks for the Swift Swim ability, and also makes Surf hits harder. I first go with Ice Beam because Dusclops is tanky enough to leave one Surf, and it would be then in healing range. So this way I ensure I can take Dusclops out as quickly as possible. Unfortunately Dusclops goes for another Protect to stall one more rain turn before going down to Surf. Next in comes Panet, which goes down with single Surf. Once Sableye comes in, rain stops so Surf does not one-shot it. Then Phoebe heals with Full Restore, but 2 more attacks takes out Sableye. Next Panet barely leaves Surf as rain is not up, but Danza tanks Shadow Ball quite okay. Then Phoebe heals again, but 2 Ice Beam takes out Panet, and last one up is another Dusclops. Danza is out of Surf PP, so I switch to Tremor now, which tanks Shadow Ball well. We exchange attacks, and in a couple of turns Dusclops goes down to Earthquake, and that's Phoebe beaten. Next up is Glacia, who probably is hardest one to beat from my team. She starts with Celio and I start with Tremor. Earthquake is 2-shot while Celio sets up a Hail. Next in comes Glalie and I go for Rock Tomb. Glalie uses Icy Wind, so both of our speed is lowered now. Next turn Earthquake takes out Glalie and then in comes another Celio. I go for Earthquake as Celio uses Attract. I don't wanna risk the immobilization, so I switch to Casper. Luckily Celia's Blizzard misses and Casper finishes it off with Thunderbolt. Next in comes another Glalie, so I switch back to Tremor. I go straight for the Earthquake, and Tremor, the absolute beast, takes out Glalie with a critical hit. Last one left is Walrein, which tanks Earthquake and deals quite some damage with Ice Beam. Honestly, this Walrein is really big trouble for my team, and as I am looking my team members, I see only one way to get through here without wiping. I need to sacrifice Salamander here to get safe switch to something else. Salamander will be mostly useless in other fights in League because Drake hits super effectively, do it with Dragon attacks, and Valles has Ice-type moves which are quadruple super effective against Salamander. So best use for it is to sack it here, so no one more important has to go down. Ice Beam obviously takes out Salamander, so now I get safe switch to Casper. Walrein still barely leaves Thunderbolt and Glacia gets to now heal it back up with Full Restore. 2 more Thunderbolts thankfully is still enough to take out Walrein, so I still win Glacia without any more losses. Last member of Elite 4 is Drake, the Dragon-type user. He starts with Shelgon, which also always uses Protect first turn, so I start with Danza and use Rain Dance to get speed boost. Then Shelgon gets another Protect off, god damn it! Once Ice Beam hits, Shelgon goes down 1 hit. Altaria goes as well down with 1 Ice Beam, but then in comes Kindra. Here I switch to Tremor, who gets accuracy drop from Smokescreen. Then I go for Earthquake while Kindra sets 1 Dragon Dance. Then Tremor misses, not 1, but 2 Earthquakes. Thankfully it lives to hit 3rd one to take out Kindra. Next in comes Flygon, and it looks like again I might have to sacrifice someone here. I decide to send in Hangry, which can take some Earthquakes from what it seems. I hit weak Facade, but yeah, it's time for another sack to get safe switch. So unfortunately Hangry has to go down here, and next I send in Danza to destroy Flygon with Ice Beam. Last one left is Salamence, but Danza outspeeds to one-shot it with Ice Beam. Honestly, I don't think I could have gotten better outcome there. Hopefully last 4 members of my team are able to beat Wallace. Well, we will find out right now as battle against Wallace begins. Wallace starts battle with Wailord and I with Casper. 2 Thunderbolts takes out Wailord as Casper takes some damage from Water Spout. Against Tentacruel I switch to Tremor and one-shot it with Earthquake. Next in comes Ludicolo and I switch to Styu, first time actually in Pokemon League. But this is where it gets to shine, as Ludicolo likes to spam Double Team and I have Aerial Ace, which cannot miss. Granted, it does not deal too much damage, so after a while of exchanging attacks I have to let Stien go down to get a safe switch to Danza, who hits Ice Beam to take out Ludicolo. Next in comes Milotic, which badly poisons Danza. Plan here is to whittle its HP down a little bit with Absorb and let Danza go down so I can switch safely to Tremor. Earthquake does not quite finish Milotic off though, as it goes for Recover. This was actually blessing in disguise, because now Valles won't use Full Restore, so next Earthquake finishes Milotic off. Next up is Whiscash, which loses Earthquake War in 2 turns. Last one is Gyarados, which we do have answer with Casper's Thunderbolt. But I don't dare switch Casper into attack, so I make decision to sacrifice Tremor to make sure I can hit Thunderbolt. Gyarados ends up going with Hyper Beam, so in hindsight, Casper couldn't come in safely, as normal type attacks cannot hit Ghost type. But in the moment there was no way for me to know that is going to happen. So my plan was still safest possible option. Casper comes in, hits the Thunderbolt, and Gyarados goes down, and thus, Wallace has been beaten, and challenge is complete and won. Barely, but anyway won. As you can see, I don't like to tryhard these Nuzlocks too much. I don't plan my Pokemon EVs or health items too much. That's just not who I am. Sure, this makes challenge much harder without any rational reasoning, but that's just my style. And hey, for some reason Brock just lived 2 times, so I guess that kinda evens out the things. Regarding how many other Pokemon I did lose in this challenge. Sorry about that again. I promise that won't happen in the next challenges I might do in the future. Also, I don't like to dramatize losing team members too much. It's a natural part of Nuzlocke, and I think it makes challenge more interesting because you have to learn and adapt to new situations whenever important team member is lost. If you enjoy my style, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and let me know in the comments what kind of challenges you'd like to see me try in future videos. They don't have to be Pokemon related challenges, they can be for some other games as well. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching everyone, I will see you in the future videos, and for now it's a bye bye.